Hello class 9 students, welcome to your history class. Today we'll be discussing the February Revolution in Petrograd. It's in page 35 of your book. As we all know that the First World War in 1914 had brought enormous number of problems in Russia. There were food shortages, industrial disintegration, lots of refugees were there, and people were suffering very badly. Because of all these reasons and other more reasons, there was this revolution, that is the February Revolution. Petrograd. Now, Petrograd was the capital of Russia those days, okay? And let me take you to the situation there in Russia in 1917. Already people were suffering from 1914, 15, 16 and at 17 something happened because of which there was a revolution, a proper revolution, that is February Revolution. Looking at the situation in Petrograd, there was a river Neva, okay? This is the layout of the city of Petrograd. There was a river Neva, and on the right bank and the left bank, the situation was such which gave a contrast of the power and common citizen. Okay, in the left bank, we could see all fashionable areas. Left river Neva ko left bank ma fashionable areas haru thyo, Winter Palace thyo, official buildings सँगसँगै त्यहाँनिर Duma पनि थियो. You remember, no? Duma was the Russian parliament. So त्यो buildings, official buildings haru थियो. It was all looking very fashionable in the left bank. Whereas on the right bank, just opposite, contrast, it consisted of all common citizens. त्यहाँनिर we could see the factories, okay? We could also see the workers' quarters. So river Neva ko left bank and right bank show the contrast opposite. Ek side power, ek side we could see the common citizen. Now what was the situation in the city those days, children? People were suffering from food shortages. The weather condition was very bad. It was very cold, okay? And Tsar was having a desire to dissolve Duma. And parliamentarians were not happy with this. All this reason gave a fertile ground for revolution in Russia. The first revolution, that was February Revolution. Now what happened next? Let us see. On 22nd February, there was a lockout at a factory. Okay, factory was shut down. Lockout took place on the right bank of river Neva. The next day, what happens? The workers in 50 factories, they called a strike in sympathy. And in many factories, very important here, women led the way to strikes. And this came to be called as International Women's Day, which we celebrate even today. अब तिमीहरु कन्फ्युज हुँदै होला 22nd February मा चाहिँ Women's Day भन्नुहुँदैछ म्यामले International Women's Day भन्नुहुँदैछ तर we celebrate International Women's Day on 8th March कसरी भयो त मिलेन है सो यसको जस्टिफिकेसन चाहिँ के हो भन्दाखेरि at those time 1917 मा चाहिँ Russia was to follow Julian calendar. Okay, 1917 मा चाहिँ जुलियन क्यालेन्डर फलो गर्थ्यो जुन चाहिँ क्यालेन्डर चाहिँ अहिलेको क्यालेन्डर भन्दा 13 डेज ब्याक चल्थ्यो अहिले चाहिँ वी फलो ग्रिगोरियन क्यालेन्डर ओके जो चाहिँ अलवेज 13 डेज फरवर्ड हिँड्छ सो इफ यु एड 22nd February plus 13 days it comes to 8th March. So this is how it's related. So on 22nd February, or we say on 8th March, women also came ahead. Okay, lots of women came ahead and they started demonstrating, and on this day we celebrate as Women's Day. Okay, now we will talk about the outbreak of revolution. What was the immediate causes and what led to the outbreak of the revolution? Now what happens, children? Demonstrators, workers, crossed from the factory quarters to the center of the capital. They started demonstrating. Women, men, they all came to factory workers and demonstrate. The river cross they came to the center of the capital called Nevsky Prospect. This is the center of the capital. Petrograd ko center of city ho tyahaneri pugcha. Okay, this is a main street. Now, as the workers reached there, त्यहाँ पुग्ने बित्तिकै government imposed curfew. Okay, government officials or armies aएर curfew launch गरेर they started, suppressing the revolt, suppressing the demonstration. And with that, demonstrators they dispersed. किनभने यो अर्गनाइज थिएन, उनीहरुसँग कोही थिएन, खाली वर्कर्स मात्रै थियो, खाली एउटा प्रेसराइज गर्नु मात्रै आएको थियो. So when the curfew was imposed, the demonstrators they dispersed. Then they again came back on 24th and 25th. Now police and cavalry. Now cavalry it means a policeman who rides in a horse. घोडामा चढ्ने जुन चाहिँ military man, policeman चाहिँ के भन्छ, cavalry. So police or cavalry, they were appointed by Tsar or the government to keep an eye on the protesters. सबैजनाले हेरिराख्छ के गर्छ भनेर है. And then what happened? On 25th February 1917, Tsar suspended Duma. This was the outbreak of revolution. Immediate cause चाहिँ के भयो? In 25th February, Tsar suspended Duma. As soon as Duma was suspended, politicians started criticizing this. They said, no, what is happening? Why is Tsar acting like this? Why is Tsar doing everything in an autocratic way? No, it should be stopped. Therefore, on 26th February, demonstrators returned on the street. This time, they were more organized because they were supported by politicians. Okay, and on 27th, police headquarters were ransacked. Protest started. They started protesting for bread, wages, better working conditions, better hours. Okay, and they also demanded democracy, that is constitution. Now government also, he was not stopping. Tsar didn't want to lose so easily. So government called his cavalry to control the demonstrators. But something happened here. That this cavalry, his military men, refused to fire the demonstrators. एक किसिमको mutiny भयो क्या, protest by the army भयो. Protest by the army against the king. So king को एकदमै ठुलो हतियार नै उसको आर्मी हुन्छ. आर्मीले नै रिफ्युज गर्यो. Okay, we are not going to fire any demonstrators. Therefore, now king was paralyzed. Okay, and soldiers and striking workers, now they together came forward and formed Soviet or Council. Soviet and Council, simple words ma bhanda एउटा group form गर्यो. Okay, and that was a prominent group which was known as Petrograd Soviet. Okay, after they formed the Soviet, उनीहरु सबै मिलेर एउटा डेलिगेसन गयो क्या, ग्रुप जारकोमा गयो. अनि जारकोमा गएर उनीहरुले भन्यो, the military commander, उनीहरुको military commander ले के गर्यो, एडभाइस गर्यो that Tsar, now you don't have anything to do, you cannot escape here, you have been totally under us, now you are under us, now you cannot do anything. Therefore what you do is you abdicate the throne. तिमी छोड्देऊ थ्रोनलाई. Okay, therefore king abdicated the throne on 2nd March. So with this February revolution, सबैभन्दा important outcome result के भयो भन्दाखेरि monarchy ended. यहाँ चाहिँ राजा शासन रसियाबाट completely के भएर गयो, हटिएर गयो. Therefore the democracy started coming here. So Soviet leader and Duma leaders, they formed a provisional government. After Raja left, after Raja abdicated the throne, Soviet leaders and Duma leaders, they came forward and they made a provisional government. Okay, provisional government for the government means a government for a time being. जबसम्म proper government form हुँदैन तबसम्मको लागि एउटा provisional time being को लागि they formed a provisional government. And then they also formed Constituent Assembly on the basis of universal adult franchise. This is very important, okay? And finally, revolution, here February Revolution put down monarchy in Russia in 1917. Now in the next class we are going to discuss what happened after February Revolution.